had an issue with the normal map inside of Substance Painter, so I'm going to be trying another method for this. I'm going to be baking this from a completely different place. Because I want to capture the AZ geometry from this, all the details from the AZ geometry. I want to actually capture it. So we so to do that, I'm going to use a different method of baking normal map, displacement map, and some other maps also from Zbrush. I'm going to use a Zbrush plugin from that. I'm going to use a Zbrush plugin to kind of do that. So go to Z plugin, then under the multi-map exporter, I want to export displacement and normal map, but I'll be exporting at 8K resolution for this, so I can capture as much detail as I possibly can. Flip which should be turned on. So I'm making normal map and displacement map. So I'll go to export options. Under displacement map, let me check everything. So we have under displacement map, we have the 3 channel, 32 bits, EXR. That's completely fine. Weekly parental channels, native format. I won't turn on this adaptive. I don't want to turn on, so that will take a longer time. So the DP sub pixel, I'll leave that also. I don't want to take it too long to render to bake out. I think this should be fine. Now under the displacements, tangent space should be turned on, smooth UV, smooth normals also. Just the same as the other option down here. Just the same as the other option here also. So I think everything should be fine. So I'm making this from subdivision level 1. Same also for the displacements, subdivision level 1. I'm making all of this at 8K resolution. So I'll click on create map. Let me just specify. So there should be on zim map, I believe. Let me just create a new folder for this. Okay, and I'll just click save. This might take a while to kind of bake out, so after baking and bringing this back in, I'm still having the same issue. It's not working as it's supposed to. So basically, the both ways I tried to do this instead of ZBrush is not working out correctly. So the other way to do this is just to export this out and then bake this, externally. That's what I'm just going to do. I'm going to be baking this inside of Marmoset Toolbag instead. So I'll have to export out the high resolution file. So I should. So if the mask selected, I'll just go to. Let me just make sure. Smooth normal is turned on, group is turned off. And I export this out at the highest subdivision level, this 8 million. So I want to turn off the AG geometry. I think I should click on this. I'm actually trying to preview this. I'm just trying to. So this is how it looks like without the AG geometry turned on, which is actually quite nice. So all I have to do is just to export this out at the highest subdivision level. Then do the baking instead of Marmoset Toolbag. So it's also selected on the highest subdivision level. Now just do an export for this. Let me just put this here and just name this iPoly. Name this iPoly. then save. So this might take a little while to export out. So I'll come back when this is done. So I've exported out my map, my HD geometry now. So I'm going to import the low and the high. So let's start with the low. Let me just import the low in here. So I'm using Marmoset Toolbag 3 to kind of do this. I want to use a different sky for this. I like to use this cathedral. Okay. Okay, this should be fine. Let's use a more reflective material for this with a darker tone to it. Something more or less like so should be fine. Just make sure the sky is a color. Okay, something more or less like this should be fine. So now let's import the eye. So the eye is plug this in here. So let me make sure I rename this to low. Low. Then I'll hide this for now. Let me hide the low for now. Now import the high. If you're using the same mesh and then you have the same and then you're not having any issue picking maps from Zbrush, that's completely fine. But in case you have any issues while trying to bake from from using the Z plugin and then the normal baking one from the side menu, then you just have to export the HD and HD geometry, highest subdivision level and then lowest subdivision level. Then bake this in an external software. So I will just let me give you the same material on here also. So if you should take a look at this, you can see all the details in there. So all the details are actually there. This is the eye, but we can't use this actually because this will just slow down our PC. Just slow down your PC down way too much. So we don't use eye version. So what kind of bake through with it. So let me hide the high now and turn on the low. So let's click on the bake. This bread icon here. So view baker. So let me collapse this. So I'll drag the eye poly into the eye and the low poly to the low. No, did not drag that correctly. Should be around here, that's fine. So if you click on this low now, you can see the cage. You can see this baking cage around here. So this kind of actually help us make sure no detail is kind of escaping out, so you can bake this directly on the low poly. But this big cage feels way too wide. The offset is way too much, so I want to kind of sweep this, kind of bring this a bit closer. Let me click no for this. So a bit closer like this. It shouldn't be too tight on the skin though, but close enough like so. I think this should be fine. So a value around 0.5 should be fine. Let me just round the figure up to 0.5. No. So something like this should be fine. So I'll go to the baker now. So this map we're having here, I'm going to delete this and I'll select this baking part. So select this baker one. Then I want to bake at 4K resolution, so I'll increase this to 4K. I want to bake the I don't know if the normal map if the displacement map I baked out of um Okay, let's check that because we have displacement map in here. Let's see if our displacement map is working correctly in here before we do the baking. Just to be sure if I need to bake the displacement map. Okay, seems the displacement map seems to be working correctly on the lower parts. There is a lot of detail though, but on the head it's not working so much. It's not working properly as we would want it to. Not working properly as we would want it to. So I'm guessing I'll need to bake a displacement map for this also. And I might also need a new file for this just to since I can't delete all of this. I can't delete all of this map. I need to create a new file for all of this. But that's fine. Before I do that, I'm just gonna make sure everything is working correctly. So I'll come back to Marmoset Toolbag. So let's start from making the normal map first. So let's make the normal map first. So soften, padding none. 8 bits should be fine for the normal map. So let me paste my 5 parts in here. Now name this African male normal. So I want to use the PNG for this. So I click save. Though even if I bake in here, I can still preview my map in here to be sure if it's baking correctly. So let's do that. So let's just do a quick bake for this. So I finished baking now. So let's kind of preview this to be sure if everything is working correctly. So I'll click on this preview here. Okay, so it seems to be working correctly as we would want it to. We can see all the details in there. Though the details may not be as sharp as it should have been with the HD geometry if it actually baked correctly instead of ZBrush, but for the most part this should work just fine. Maybe I can just bake this at probably just bake this at 4K or something. No, at probably 8K. But I'm not entirely sure if that would be completely necessary. But let's just bake this out at 8K resolution since we're sure everything is working correctly in here. And I'm going to be baking it should be since we're really sure this is going to bake correctly. Maybe let me try something else. Let me increase the offsets. Let me increase the offset out a bit more to around somewhere like this, and then I'll do a bake again. I want to see which one actually capture the best possible quality for the normal map. So I'm going to bake again. So I'm just going to bake this again. So that has finished baking. So let's see how the preview looks like. It's not very different from the previous one. Not so different from the previous one. Maybe probably a bit better. Maybe just slightly better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bake this at 8K resolution for this. Then I'm just going to import that into a new Substance Painter file. So let's just, so I'm going to start with the normal map. The displacement map, I'll bake that with a 16 bit channel, 16 bit format in there. So for this, let's get this at 8K resolution. I don't want to smooth the details, so yes. So it's still the same file location, which is fine. So I'll just do a bake now. Okay, so I've actually baked it. So I've actually baked this as 8K resolution. It should be just fine. So that should be more or less fine for this. Okay. So I think I'm going to change this now to 16 bits. Then configure. Then I can choose the height map. So adding the height map in here. Done. So let's bake the height map at 16 bits. Which file format should be? I think TIFF5 format should be just fine. So we can use the TIFF5 format. There's no TIFF5 formats in here. Okay, PSD should be fine. PSD should be fine. Okay, so I'll click save. So it's already on 16 bits. So I'll click on bake now. Okay, I think this is done baking. So let me just check the file. So everything should be in here. So under Z maps, I don't think I'll be using this displacement anymore because it didn't come out bake out correctly. So these are the two files that we need. So instead of Substance Painter, I'm creating a new file. So new, then select. I think not here. I need to go back one step. Then I will choose this body ready again. Then click hard to add the newly exported texture for this. Okay, so I'll select this one. Okay, yeah, this is the two files I need, so I'll just open this here, then I click OK. Let's discard. This should open up a new file for us. So this should open up a new file for us. Then with our maps imported in, then we can easily bake and then start texturing this guy. Okay, so we have this in here, and I think we can close Marmoset Toolbag for now. I don't want to save. So back in here. So if we should plug this in now, this should work correctly. Let me just put this to the side. So I should come in here now and just drag and drop this normal map in here. So it should take a little bit of a moment to apply. Okay, so in attempts for looking for solutions to this, I think we have found a more preferable solution to kind of get past not being able to pick up the maps properly from Zbrush. So if I should come in here, so while I imported the map I picked out of Marmoset Toolbag, so I'm going to show you guys all of this so you guys can be sure of what I did and how I fixed it. Not completely fixed it though, but at least something good enough to work with. So this is the map we baked from Marmoset Toolbag. This map we baked from Marmoset Toolbag. This particular model here is the corrected version. This one has been corrected. I'm going to show you guys what I did to correct it also. This particular one has been corrected to a particular level that I feel is good enough to work with. So watch out, you can at least can see some more details now for the lips. Some of the details for the lips are kind of showing out now a bit more compared to what we have in Substance Painter, where we kind of imported our big map from Marmoset Toolbag. And it's not really revealing the details on the list properly, and it's not really revealing some of the details for the skin also properly. Yes, same here also. This we can kind of manage, but for the face itself, there's going to be like the hero shot for our rendering is not very visible. So even though in our layers, I kind of plug that in the layers here, it just makes it look even a bit more terrible than it was before. So I don't want this. So what I actually did here to kind of get something better was to export the model at subdivision level 2. So I exported this out at subdivision level 2. Okay. So I exported this out at subdivision level 2 to around. Let me bring everything back out. So at subdivision level 2, we have a poly count of 128k, which is too much to be precise, but unfortunately since I'm unable to export this out at subdivision level 1 and then bake out the edge geometry detail, which I can't really seem to figure out what the actual problem is. But since this is a personal project, I think later on I can kind of look for a solution for that. Though the solution I found online was just to use the Z plugin and just export that out, but it doesn't seem to be giving us the best results. Still kind of having the same issue we had when we kind of bake this from the menu down here. So in here now in Marmoset Toolbag, I exported it out. This is the subdivision level 2. I exported out. Then I just reapply the same map we picked from Marmoset Toolbag from the high poly, which is giving us this detailing here that we can more or less work with. You can see some of the details for the lips are kind of showing now, which we can more or less use. Once we add the some colors on this, we should kind of hide most of this imperfection we have in here. So that's basically what I did. So but for us to kind of export this out to Substance Painter, I'll need to go back to my Maya file. Then for the main head, this is the main body here. I'll just name this to low. Okay, then I will just temporarily hide this. Then import the subdivision level 2 we have for this. So under ready exports, there's no in here. Okay, this is it here. So we have around 20 MB. So I'll just drag and drop this in here. Okay, so we have this in here now. It should be more or less fine for what we need it for. Okay. Though one last thing I would like to do is that let me see if we can visualize this in here. It's not really a big deal, but I don't think it's going to actually be a big deal. It's not so much of a big deal actually. It's just the details for the hand. They feel a bit widely spread out. So if one kind of get that looking a bit lower than it is right now, maybe this should be fine. Maybe, but if you want to get that a bit lower, so instead of ZBrush, if I should go to the highest subdivision level for this, into the highest subdivision level. I'm more or less doing this in real time so I can show you guys, so you guys can actually see issues I encounter and then how to more or less go about fixing them if you can't completely fix them, at least looking for a workaround for it. So if I go to the so I kind of lowered, you can see it's not so much as intense as it was before. So what I actually did was to, on the layers, I had this on a separate layer, which is why it's very important to have this on separate layers so you can actually blend back in between them. So I kind of took this down from 0.8, it should be 0.8 to 0.4. You can see this in here, 0.4. That kind of lessen the details in here. So if you want to kind of big that out, all you have to do is just to export this out again into Marmoset Toolbag and then you can just bake again. But I don't think I'll be doing that. But if you want more precise with this, you can actually do that. That's completely fine. So back to Maya, then I'm going to select this head and then just assign the same material to it. So existing material should be African male. Okay. Then I'll just select okay. Then let me just drag this into the folder. Should be in here. Let me just put this to 2. Do a quick save for this file. Okay, so then I will just select everything in that. So I select everything in that folder. So selecting everything in that folder, and I can export this out again. So I export this out as dual FBX again. So I'll copy this 5 parts, place this here. Then it should be on dual FBX. So I'll just replace this body ready. So let me just give this a moment to load up. I think I can safely close this file now. And safely close this file. Let me just close this file. No. So that has exported out. So back into Marmoset Toolbag. Let's just okay. Since we're here already, let's just I'll come to edit and I'll just click on project configuration. Or better still, let me just create a new file. Let me just create a new file again. then body ready. So I don't want to have any map that won't be needing, so it should be there. This two. This is a file we exported out of Marmoset Toolbag to open. So I'll click OK, discard. So we have this in here now. Okay, so if I should go in here, normal map, I'll just bring this in. I believe we should have similar results to that of now there's an issue in here also. Actually, I should use another material for this. Sometimes Painter is not giving me the desired details, like we see instead of Marmoset Toolbag, which is kind of strange. It's a bit strange. But this is the actual map. Oh yeah, I think the reason why we're having that should be because we are viewing this at 2K resolution. So let's take this up to 4K resolution. So yes, so at 4K resolution, we can see some of the details now coming out. Say for one thing, the camera angle is a bit weird. Yes, this is working correctly now, so we can see some of the details now. So the camera angle is not correct, so let's just kind of match it with our viewport in Zbrush. So the field of view should be yes, no, focal length should be on 85 millimeter lens. So with an 85 millimeter lens, we should be having something close enough to what we have in ZBrush. Yeah, this is close enough. I think we can just manage this. It's quite disappointing that we can't bake out those maps inside of the HD geometry details inside of ZBrush. Quite unfortunate. But we'll just have to make do with this. Just have to make do with this. Okay, so I'll just let me do a quick save. So I'm going to save this on top of this. So I'm just going to replace this. Okay, maybe even in this new layer, maybe just plug in the normal map again. Let's see what that gives us. That kind of accentuated the details a bit more though. Though it feels too intense, but I think this is a more preferable way to go. Except for just way too intense, so I can actually do this. Come in here to the normal and kind of tone this down. I can even make sure they are just isolated to just the face alone, but I think something around here should be fine. But before I continue, just hide this for now. Then let's just bake. I think there's some other maps I will need in here. I'll need some other maps in here too. So I need to bring in other maps for the inner eyes. I need to bring in other maps for the inner eyes. So let me just go and find that and then drag that in. So let me just, I'm not too sure which particular eye it is, but I believe it should be this one. So I think I basically need just the normal map. Basically just need just the normal map. and then the brown eyes for this. Let me just import this in here. Texture. Okay, so should be for the this will be the texture set for the inner eyes. So let's start by plugging in the normal map in there to be sure it's working correctly. Yes, seems to be working correctly as it should. So let me just turn off. Let me just isolate it for now just to make sure everything's working correctly. Okay, this seems to be fine. So let's plug in the texture. I want to be sure if everything's working correctly before I bake maps inside of Substance Painter. So let's hide the outer eyes. Just only 3D view. Okay. Yeah, this seems fine. It feels way too bright though, but I think this should work just fine. I think this should work just fine for what we need it for. Yeah, this works just fine. So I think now I can safely bake. So I will just go to the. I'll just come in here. I click on big mesh map. So the only model that have a normal map, external normal map, is the African male, the main body and the inner eyes. So let's just bake those first. So I'm going to turn off normal map in here. So for the curvature, let's do generate from, not from mesh, let's generate from map. Okay. So if this should be applied, can I apply to all in here? Is that applied to? This applied to it now is not being affected. I believe it should apply to both of them, I believe. Then for the ambient occlusion, so let's use this only same mesh name. Apply to all. Okay, under common, I want to bake this at probably bake this at 4K resolution, probably. Okay, let's bake this at 4K resolution. At least these two at 4K resolution. The other ones I just bake them at 2K resolution. So that should be fine. And I'll just click big selected meshes, and I'll just give this a moment to load. So I'll bake this now. Fair enough. Then we can bake for the other parts also. So this particular one does not come with UV, so I'll bake this at 2K resolution. So I'll just do an invert select texture set. So I'll just invert this now. So now I can think we don't do this from generate mesh. So I'll just do bake for this. So I've done baking now. So I think we can add on to start texturing this. Okay, so in next lesson I'm going to start texturing this piece. So